Hey, so how's everything going in the Taylor Swift fandom since Taylor joined Tumblr? Fucking horrible. Oh my god. What's wrong? Everything. Every fucking thing. Why don't we just open up the discussion and let's go back in time. Let's travel back to the very beginning. The beginning of the beginning of the beginning. The absolute very first place that we could possibly start. When Taylor first joined Tumblr, I very distinctly remember saying, everyone, everyone just for fucking once, just pretend to be goddamn normal. Everyone just shut the fuck up. Did anybody listen to me? Nobody ever listens to me. It has been September, October, November, December, January. We only made it 6 months. And I wouldn't even say that we made it. Taylor started liking people's posts. And I was like... Taylor started following people. And I was like... lurking blogs. And I was like... stop everything. Put this to a stop now, because we are going down a road that we're not going to be able to traverse back from. Of course, then I was lured into a false sense of security, because I was like, oh, look at all this cool stuff that's going on. Oh, people are getting packages. People are going to the secret session. I got a couple like posts. Here I am today as a person. Now we're just going to go to a specific event. If we were going to go each and every individual drama that led up to this point, I don't even think this would be the fucking Titanic of fucking fandom videos. I show up late as usual onto goddamn Tumblr. I show up and there's literally a 14-year-old kid who I've never even fucking heard of before. I show up, this kid, no context whatsoever. I've got nothing. I'm just here, and there's a kid like a rotisserie pig over a goddamn open flame, being roasted so goddamn crisp, extra crisp. And so I'm like, what are you guys talking about? And here's what happened for anybody who doesn't know. Here's the backstory to me showing up on Tumblr in the middle, it was like midday. It was noon, and people were roasting. Okay, this is the level. Usually the roast doesn't start until like 7 p.m. You know, we've all had a glass or two of wine. That's usually when the roast starts. No, this was just noon. I was, okay, so we're roasting at noon now. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, I guess. I guess this 14-year-old kid got a package from Taylor. This kid was specifically singled out because apparently he had been exposed at some point as telling some girl to kill herself and bullying some girl, and if you've seen the posts of people trying to expose this kid, it's just like this huge post, and I've never reblogged it, because I've been trying to stay on the goddamn sides of this. He bullied some girl, and she's also a teenager, and it's like really dramatic, and everyone was just like tagging Taylor in all these posts. They're dragging him, roasting him on an open flame. Noon o'clock in the afternoon. I think it was a Saturday or I swear to God it was Sunday, the Lord's Day. And fucking every single post on my dash is about some kid who, again, I have never even heard of. I still am not 100% sure what his name is. Roasted. And tagging Taylor in all the posts. I was like, stop this. Literally half the things that Taylor gets tagged in these days, I'm like, stop. All the way to what I would say would be part 2. The noon roast on Sunday was part 1. Now we're going to go into part 2, where this one girl, who I actually have heard of her, so that was kind of a relief. I kind of felt like I was in the know. Went to Taylor Swift's house on Valentine's Day, and it was all very cordial. It was very exciting. We were like, we are totally into this, and this is the best thing ever. All of a sudden, the 14-year-old kid that I thought had been roasted to a crisp and scurried off somewhere, like a spider, to hide under a rock, like any sane person would have done. And he's just like, hey, guess what? The girl who went to Taylor Swift's house She talked about me to Taylor, and apparently, she called the entire fandom quote unquote salty, and that everyone's just like jealous of me, and blah 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 blah. For the record, before I say anything else, I am not 100% positive that this story is 100% accurate. It's accurate in the sense that he said that on Instagram, but every time somebody tries to talk to the girl about it, she's just like, don't quote me. You could just say whether she said it or not. It's out there and we're here. So you might as well just tell us. I don't she ever called us salty. After what happened in part 3, I believe it, though. So before I was like, there's no way. But now the tides have turned. It's high tensions running high. So I show up 2 hours late to that as well. All I know is that Salty is becoming a meme. I'm in the corner just like what the fuck? A British kid is trying to drag us. Taylor's trying to drag us. The girl who went to Taylor's house is neither dragging nor not dragging. She's just in the middle somewhere, like, don't quote me. So we're just like, well, what the fuck? Oh, and before I forget, an important part of the story is that the girl who went to Taylor's house, when she brought up the British kid, the 14-year-old, I'm not 100% sure he's 14. He's something. You know, under the age of 18, it's just like, it's all the same. The girl was just like, she said to Taylor, she was like, you know, all those screen caps of what's-his-face saying all that stuff, like, that's all photoshopped and not real. And Taylor was like, oh, I know, everyone's just so salty. And I was just like, first of all, this went on, okay? So the fact of the matter is that even though we had simmered to a point where we weren't really talking about this, we were still talking about it. It was still happening. You know what I'm saying? I was still seeing the posts. No matter how many times I said, please, it's like nobody, just like, can we cut it? Cut the goddamn scene. Like, stop beating the horse. Jimmy, like, just leave it dead. There's nothing we can do about it. Obviously, she doesn't believe anybody, so why are we still talking about it? But no, of course, for the 10-zillionth time in my 7 years, nobody listened to me. There's a part 3. Okay, we've come full circle. Part 3 opens with, I see these blurry pictures of the 14-year-old. He might be like 15. He's meeting Taylor at I think it was the Brits or whatever. He's meeting Taylor at the Brits. And there's pictures of it, and I casually said, isn't that the kid that you guys literally crucified on the cross next to the Lord? And literally I got this influx of messages that was just like, yeah, that is the kid. That's the kid that bullied a girl to almost killing herself and she almost died and you're making a joke of it. I was just like, okay, you know, I'm not making an opinion. I'm just saying, is that the kid? It was the kid. Okay, Taylor posts a picture of this child and herself. It's like, oh, this is my love. People freak out. Another thing that happened is that she shouted him out in some fucking magazine interview. That happened, so all these things kind of influxed together. And I had been on Tumblr in the morning. Okay, I was there, I saw the magazine article, I saw the pictures, saw the Instagram post, and I was just like, okay. I moved on, is what I did. I moved the hell on. I, didn't even give a shit. So, but that I didn't have really an opinion at that point. I was eating Doritos. I was goddamn eating Doritos. Okay, so I show up with my Doritos. I casually go on and wonder, I wonder if I have any messages on Tumblr. So I show up. I've shown up to some drama before, okay? I have, so many times I've just shown up and there's been drama. And to be honest with you, it's never been like this before. I was there and, literally every single post on my dash was in caps. People were screaming at each other. Every single post had Taylor Swift tagged, and none of them were, it was all angry, and everyone, and then it was either you were mad at Taylor, or you were mad at the fandom, or you were mad at that kid, and then everyone was just mad at each other. And I'm there with my goddamn Doritos, trying to check my messages. But what do my messages say? I go in there, I have 5 new messages, and every single one of them says, Madeline, you need to come back because we need to drag the fandom. And I was just like, well, how many times am I going to be asked to... I think there's somebody else that needs to be fucking dragged at this point. So fucking, And everyone, I'm like, specifically tell me what's going on. Because I can't get a straight answer from any of these posts because everyone's screaming and it's hard to understand it when you use that tone. So fucking, everyone just keeps saying, Madeline, you need to go into Taylor's likes. So my dumb ass goes into Taylor's likes. Oh, I wish I'd never done it. No, I see, what's the first post that's in there? It's like, shut the fuck up. I don't even know. All I know is I read it and I was just like, Taylor liked this. She liked like 8 posts about how she's gonna leave Tumblr. I saw that like stupid fucking Instagram post, like love, hate. I was just like, I don't need to drag the fucking fandom, because the fandom was already dragged all the way from South America up to the border of Canada for hours. This went on hours. It started in the morning. And I was on Tumblr, and it started at that point, and I left naively, because I thought nothing's gonna come of this. What could? Why? I ask you. So fucking okay. I come back. It was like 3, 4, 5 around that area. Just people being eaten alive. Cannibalism. It was fucking disgusting. I was just like, it was a new low. I really think it was. And if somebody would know about the lows of the fandom, as somebody who was there the first time Taylor wore red lipstick, I feel like I have a certain knowledge of what the worst nights in the fandom were. This just topped them all. I've never seen anything like it. I'm sorry if you weren't there to experience it, but I'm telling you that you're better off not actually having been there. And I wasn't even there during the actual thing. I was just there in mostly the aftermath, but it was still going for hours. There's still people talking about it. Now the story's been told, right? Okay, we're done with that part. Okay. So the first thing I'd really like to say, if we're gonna get into like, this, is that as a 21-year-old adult, I don't particularly relish the idea of dragging some 14-year-old. So this is just unbiased factual journalism, okay? This is what this is. This is journalism, okay? This is the Yale Daily News, okay? I'm just telling you the facts of the matter, okay? During part 1, when everyone was calling him a fucking bully and shit, he flat out said that all of that was bullshit and that none of it ever happened, and he doesn't understand why people are telling all these lies about him and blah 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 blah. They could be photoshopped. That's what Taylor believes. So you know what? Oh, if Taylor believes it, then it must be true. It was denial. He straight up said this isn't true. Now, okay, those aren't real. I never seen those before. And now it's, well, some of them are real. No, see, but I was talking to my friend. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was my friend. You guys don't know. That's my friend. And now it's like, I'd never said any of that stuff. But then, oh, no, wait. Maybe I said a couple of them. And it's just like, what's the goddamn truth? Look. Okay. Now, I can't really put a person down for that. Because chiefly, number one, if you think for 5 seconds that if somebody came at me in this imaginary world where I had at one point told someone to kill themselves on Instagram, and somebody tried to expose me for it, and we're tagging Taylor in the post, I'd just be like, that's photoshopped. Even if it was true, I'd just be like, that's not real. And if you think you wouldn't do the exact same thing, you're full of shit. Because you know you would lie. You know you would. If Taylor was seeing this, oh, you would lie. Don't lie about this. You would lie about that. Okay? So, basically, ye who is without sin can throw the first stone. On that matter, whatever. So, of course, at that point, he gets these followers now. There's just these posts. I see them sporadically. And they're just like these fucking dramatic, well, everybody makes mistakes, and I feel like everyone deserves a second chance, and I just feel like everyone's being so mean. Everyone can tell when you're making a post or reblogging a post that the only reason you're writing it or reblogging it is to make it seem like you're some great holy saint from heaven. Okay? Everyone can tell. Everybody makes mistakes, and I just, You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I just feel like it's like forgive and forget. And the whole reason we're here is for Taylor anyway. So why does any of this other stuff matter? Don't act like you're so above it all. Because I know that you're there loving it, loving every second of it. Don't bullshit me. I can tell. And so can everybody else. Enough with those posts. I hate them. I hate them. We're all here for Taylor. It's like, let me tell you something. For Taylor, are you sure? For Taylor, are you sure we're not all just here to yell at Taylor about various things? Taylor, are you just gonna grab fans out of the audience? And Taylor, are you gonna do this for us? And are you gonna do this for us? Are you gonna do this for us? And Taylor, don't you think that bullying is so wrong and that we should do something about this? Taylor, are you gonna do something about this? Taylor, are you gonna save us from sin and damnation? Taylor, it's just like that's what we do. So don't have it, oh, we're here for Taylor. We're here to get to Taylor. Not for, to get to. So, shh with that. And, of course, there's the other side of the coin, where everyone's sitting there just like, well, we won't support bullying. And you guys are bullying this child. I said from the goddamn start, tagging Taylor in posts like that is not something that we should ever be aspiring to do. Don't do that. I've been saying that. Please do not do that. The first time they did it, I was like, please don't do that. And everyone was just like, well, she needs to know. It was stupid. It was extra. It was extra. And it was infantile. And I said so at the time. Nobody listened to me. Pointing out the fact that somebody else is a kind of a butt, it is not bullying. And you guys were like, whoa. That's bullying. Hey, don't start bullying people. It's just like, what the fuck are you talking about? Do you see this? And they're just like, don't. What would Taylor say if she were here? Why do you gotta be so mean? You know what Taylor would say about this? I think Taylor would be ashamed that you're sitting here like this right now. And Taylor would come in here and beat your ass. And in the end, she did come in and beat our asses. So I get you're fucking right. I received a package from Taylor Swift. Let's remember that is what started the entire thing, is that he got a package from Taylor Swift. He met Taylor. He got a package from Taylor Swift. He met Taylor Swift. He got kissed on the cheek by Taylor Swift. He got his picture posted on Taylor Swift's Instagram, on Taylor Swift's Tumblr, where she called him her fucking love. Okay, he got a shout out in the National Enquirer. He's fine. He's doing great. Okay, so don't try to paint him up like he's some tragic, like sad little, bedraggled out, like. But what I find is particularly interesting about this particular situation is that apparently he's some public bullier, known. Not known by me, and not known by the vast majority of the fandom, but known by a pretty big portion. But what's interesting about it is that I never, ever once heard that he's some bullier, never even heard the URL or name, that goes around telling girls to kill themselves. Never heard it. Didn't even know it existed. His ass gets a goddamn package. All of a sudden, people give a shit. That is very, very interesting. Do you think that there's, like, a correlation between the fans who get special treatment from Taylor and the fans that get exposed? The fandom's bizarre quest to, like, expose every single person that Taylor pays attention to, if there's anything to expose. Which, if there is, they'll fucking find it. So watch out. I'm terrified. I hope to God that Taylor never pays me any mind, because I'm not in the mood to be exposed. I'm not interested. If you really wanted to, you could expose me, and anybody else could say the same exact thing. I'm not in the mood. Don't fucking do it. It's just, like, ridiculous. Why? What do you think it's gonna do? And then everyone was just like, oh, but Madeline, don't you think that if somebody's bullying people and telling people to kill themselves, that, Taylor needs to know that this is a bad person that she's paying attention to, and that there are other people that could, benefit from her attention a lot more. And it's like, okay, but consider this angle. You tried it. You tried it. And here we are today, dragged. What did you... It's like words escape me. Words escape me. I don't have the words to explain to you how the opposite of what you wanted happened. The opposite. Who got the short end of the stick in the end? Me. I wasn't even there. And I feel personally victimized, okay? So just no more of this. Just stop with the expose and, get your pitchforks and your flames. We're gonna fucking come. And this kid did this and that kid did that and this kid got a package and this kid went to a secret session and everyone hates him. Everybody knows that. And it's just like, I'm tired. I'm too old. You guys just have to light up the goddamn flames. And I know, it's like, everyone's like, oh my god, this is so dramatic, I can't believe this is happening, oh my god, this is just like the worst thing that's ever happened. It's like, secretly you guys are having the best times of your lives, because as soon as the flame gets started, as soon as the first drag post comes out, the first thing that any bad thing that is said about any person in the fandom, it's like the fandom just latches onto it and just like, oh, we're gonna do this tonight, we're going to fucking drag someone. You love it. Stop pretending like you don't, because I know you do. I'm including myself in the pool. Okay, is that when things are getting dramatic, okay, yes, it's kind of amusing. And the point is, don't pretend like you're out here trying to do the right thing and, expose some legitimately, kid that bullies people to Taylor and, in hopes that she'll see the light and that you're gonna, so that she'll know who the girl is that got bullied. Don't pretend like that's your end game. It's not. Your end game is that you love the drama and you feed off it and you're fucking cannibals. And I'm never once pretended that I gave a shit because I don't care. Oh, I don't care about the kid or the girl. But see, now I'm a part of this now. We're in this together, every single one of us. Because, moving right along into the third person who's got some shit coming their way. Are you ready for this? What I'm trying to say here is that the fandom in recent hours, or, since this began, has kind of been acting like they were these, innocent little babies that stood by and were, victimized by Taylor, coming in, dragging the fandom, and, but she doesn't know the full story, and she's being an idiot, and blah, blah. Listen, I gotta tell you something. I think she knows the story better than you think she does. Maybe she doesn't know all the specifics, but you tagged her in 18,000 posts and tried to get her to drag some 14-year-old. I don't know why you're acting like you're oh, because I know better. I know you guys. Number one, irrefutable fact, she should have never gotten involved. Never. She should have never. I don't care what the situation is. Unless somebody's literally out there dying. She has no involvement in this whatsoever. And I feel like she kind of has this idea where it's like, well, it's my fans, and my fans are like my friends. It's like, okay, listen, I've got some news. You can't just show up and try to join in on the drag. You can't just show up with a stick, Taylor, and a marshmallow and start roasting with the rest of us, because it becomes something then. Before, it was just like this fandom thing where every now and then fucking a team of people would just start roasting in on the kid again, and I would be like, oh my god. But now, as soon as Taylor came in, she hopped right into the situation and made it into a fucking event. It wasn't a roast anymore. It was a goddamn buffet. It was a fucking free-for-all, cannibalistic mess after Taylor got involved. And I'm sitting there, and I'm just wondering to myself, what is the point? You know what I'm saying? What is she gaining out of this? Okay? What is the end game? Where there's one fan out there who allegedly told some girl to kill herself, and this is the one. This is oh, that kid. That's the kid that I'm going to dedicate the most attention I've ever dedicated to any single fan. That kid. It's why? Do you know what I'm saying? Does that feel weird to anybody else? And, it doesn't make sense that there's literally dozens of people in the fandom who are this kid's a butt, but it's it just doesn't faze her. She's just no, see, that's bullying. And now all of a sudden I'm a bully, even though I wasn't there. I feel victimized by her. I really do. I honestly feel like I have been dragged, even though I literally had I was literally just a bystander. I at no point tried to drag that kid. I didn't even reblog any of the posts. I was the one who was saying stop, and nobody listened to me. But all of a sudden, I'm included in the pool of shitters. All of a sudden, I'm in the fandom, and I'm not the kid that's getting dragged across the United States of America. So now I get dragged by Taylor Swift. It doesn't make any sense to me. And it's like, meanwhile over here it's like, oh, it's like I got all these goddamn albums over here, fucking DVDs, and then for what? So she can get on Tumblr and drag me? Is this what my life is now? Being dragged by the person I've looked up to for 9 years? Is that what I have to look forward to? Because people said that he bullied someone. Do you understand the situation we're in? The drama of the situation. The seriousness of the severity. And she's showing up and making us all feel like assholes. Me included. I wasn't even there. Can I stress that? I wasn't there. And now I'm involved, and we all get to lose out on the quote-unquote privilege of Taylor being on Tumblr because fucking a pack of people couldn't shut the fuck up about this stupid kid. I'm here to tell you something. Okay, this is bogus. This is literally the stupidest thing that's ever happened in this fandom. It is not only the stupidest, it is the most prolific. It is the longest spanning. It is all the way up to Taylor. Straight to the very tippy top. Okay, here's the pyramid. We're on the goddamn pyramid, okay? And there's the bottom. That's probably us. We're probably on the bottom, okay? And things have trickled through news outlets. This is a news story. All the way up to the tippy top to Taylor Swift. And now, all of a sudden, every single person is involved. People who we've never even met. All of a sudden, they're involved. Taylor dragged them. I feel like fucking vomiting is how I feel. That's how I feel about the situation, because it's fucked up that she did that. I feel like it's irrefutable. No matter who, even if you're like, no, I personally don't believe that kid ever, bullied anybody into killing themselves. And then over on this side, if you're just like, well, I personally believe that he did, I feel like both sides have to come together and kind of acknowledge the fact, irrefutably, Taylor never should have gotten involved. It really was so fucking far from her goddamn place. And I feel like people are going to be like, well, she was technically involved. She wasn't, though. This was the drama of 16-year-old kids. And she is the goddamn adult in the situation. Maybe not the oldest of all of us, but if we're talking about just levels of power, she had this power, and she chose to use her power to make us all feel like fucking assholes. So that's what I think. And, at a certain point, I feel like I'm just, out of things to say. But, it's not even funny. All jokes aside, that's fucked up. And I feel like if you really are just gonna be like, well, you guys are, you're being mean to Taylor and stuff, and it's like, okay, look, I know that it is nice and cozy warm up inside Taylor Swift's ass. But you said, eventually you gotta come out and join the rest of us. Because at this point, we're all in this together. And frankly, if I had my way, I would be on the phone with Taylor Swift now, being like, can I please, can I have some explanation as to what you thought was gonna happen when you decided that you were just gonna come in and fucking... I can't talk about this anymore, because I feel like